Hey guys, alright, so today is back to school night. This is my first back to school night with third graders. I'm used to first graders and I think it's gonna go good. This whole year's been going good, so why not? Let me walk you through what the parents will be walking through. So as soon as they walk in, they're going to sign in on the sheet and then they're going to find their kiddo's desk. Only my kid just spotted me. And this kid talks about YouTube all the time and being a YouTuber, and I haven't told him that I make YouTube videos. So I wonder if he'll ask. Okay, anyway. So once parents sign in, they're going to find their kid's desk by just looking at their little character sheet. So they have a little picture of them and they got to pick 4 character traits that describe them. But today we went over character traits because my kids are kind of having trouble distinguishing character emotion versus character traits. So then we made this chart. Defines emotions, how they feel at a certain time, versus traits, how they feel majority of the time and just their personality traits. Questions you should ask yourself, and then examples for both of them. And then we decided to make our own list of traits that we think describe us. And then we got to make this little character. I did mine, so I drew a little picture and I picked 4 traits that describe me and then drew some shoes.
Please excuse the interruption.
So we have time slots for each grade. Mine is until 6:30. Anyway, so then the kiddos went and made their own. I had them do this little sheet. Hold on. I had them do this little sheet first. Sorry, it's kind of cut. So because it wasn't a story, it was about themselves, I had them, they got to draw a little picture, but then I told them I didn't care too much about the picture because we were making our own picture, but they had to pick 2 traits and describe why those traits fit them. And then on the back, they just had to write 2 more. And most of them ended up explaining those ones anyway. Then they ended up using those words to make their little person. So we decided it would be fun to take our name tags off of our desk and only leave our little character. My kiddos thought this would be so fun to have their parents guess where they sit, just by looking at their little picture and knowing their character traits. Also seeing how well my kids know their own character traits. But I'm super excited because they're super excited. And another thing that was really cool is that with first grade, I would have never been able to pull off like a last minute craft activity in the last hour and a half of the day. It would have just been straight chaos and there would have been paper shreds all over the floor and it just, no fun. But my third graders, it was just like, sure, Miss Blair, I'll do this writing, I'll make this craft, I'll pick up all the papers on the floor, I won't lose any of your glue stick caps. True love right there. I said, please don't lose any of my glue stick caps, make sure they go on right, walk with the scissors correctly, and what did they do? They walked with the scissors correctly. They put a cap back on each glue stick. Oh, my heart. Anyway, back to the points. So I'm excited to see how that turns out because they're so stinking excited about them. Once they find their desk, they'll have a seat. That way I can actually play my slideshow. Usually for these kind of events, I like to make it more student-led and have an activity. But my district really prefers back to school night to have a slideshow and a handout that goes home. So I made a slideshow and a handout that goes home. So in this slideshow, I go over rules and consequences, the expectations for behavior. I go over curriculum, what we use for language arts, math, and now social studies. I also go over, what else do I go over? I also really stress attendance. I touch on testing and kind of mention the SBAC, just say how we're preparing for this big test at the end of the year and what I do in class and how our curriculum helps prepare them for that big test. I go over homework and how that's meant to be turned in and when it's going to be given back and all of that stuff. Really just a solid breakdown of what I'm going to be doing in my classroom, what they can expect their student to be doing, what I expect of their kids, and also the expectation that they can hold me to. This just gets everyone on the same page. And then they have my handout, which is pretty much just a printout of that to take home as a reminder if they need to go over it later. I should probably print that in Spanish. So our population is primarily English language learners. That means the parents most of the time speak Spanish. So for back to school night, we have translators that come into our class and translate our slides for us. Huge help. But for the translators to fit all of us in, we have allotted time slots. So if you hear chaos in the background, that's because other grades have already started. My time slot isn't till 6:30, and it's about 5:30, which means if I leave right at 7, if the parents leave right at 7, I have about a 40-minute drive home, puts me home at about 7:45. Long day, but it's worth it. It's only 2 days out of the year, it's fine. Open house will be totally fun because that's when it gets to be a lot more interactive and student-led, and I can do another scavenger hunt or just something pretty cool. We should have some really awesome social studies projects coming up. So I think for open house, it would be super awesome to have projects around the room. Anyway, this is back to school night. So if you like this video, please give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you next week. Bye.